Hey guys, welcome back to another video on my channel. Today we're going to be talking about Minecraft 1.19.3 and also 1.20. Minecraft are currently focusing on quality of life changes for the game. So today we're going to be talking about some quality of life changes I would like to see in the game. But first things first, I've actually noticed a bug. I think it's just like an oversight in the naming of certain items. But as you can see, it's this item right here, this mob spawner, is called monster spawner. But if I actually change my language to, so at the moment I'm using English US. If I change it to English United Kingdom, so we are now on English United Kingdom. Now, as you can see, it is literally just called the spawner. Now, I don't know if that's a bug or not. I think it is. I think it's meant to be called Monster Spawner to match Bedrock Edition. But I think that's just an oversight where they've obviously missed it in the naming. The first quality of life change I would like to see done in 1.19.3 is this guy. This guy just needs a quality of life change. I don't know what it would be, but this just isn't something that is good. So you are going to go and sit down in that hole until you have some change. Now, I don't think they will change anything about it, but it would just be good to see some sort of quality of life change to the trades to make them a bit more useful. Or even maybe have a unique mob with them that then makes them useful. Like, I don't know, maybe a camel or something like that. In 22W44A, they added some new game rules. They added block explosion drop decay. They also added mob explosion, I think it is called. Yeah, mob explosion drop decay, and also TNT explosion drop decay. Well, I would like to see some game rules that are for mob griefing. Now, there is a general game rule for mob griefing, called obviously mob griefing. But I would like to see that split up into like Enderman, into creepers, and stuff like that. Because it's so annoying if you turn this off, then a lot cannot actually happen. Things like villagers cannot pick up crops from the ground. They can also, zombies can't break doors. So I would like to see this mob griefing game rule split up into different categories. Maybe stuff like Enderman pick up blocks is its own one. So you can actually just enable and disable Enderman picking up blocks. Also, one for maybe ghasts, creepers could be in the same category. But I would really like to see this split up into more like unique things. I think if Minecraft done that to the mob griefing game rule, I think that would just be the best change ever. Due to it's very annoying to play survival mode and have Enderman stealing your blocks, but to obviously turn off the game rule, it then disables a lot in gameplay. Now, in addition to another game rule, they obviously added another game rule in 22W44A called global sound events. Now, this is to disable or enable the ability for global sound events to happen. Global sound events are things like when you summon the Wither, it can be heard globally across the world, or also when you like activate an end portal, that is also heard globally. So the change I would like to see is they actually rework the whole sound system, because there's so many things here that don't actually work. Like, for example, disabling hostile creature sound effect or turning it down doesn't affect boss mobs, like the Ender Dragon and the Warden. So either I would like to see that some sort of like update to it so boss mobs are counted within the actual hostile creatures, or add a new category right here called boss creatures. Because there's so many times where I've gone to the end to fight the Ender Dragon and it's literally so loud you have to actually turn down your whole master volume for it to actually affect the volume. So I think either they need to be added to this toggle, or they need to add a new toggle for boss creatures. Now, this isn't really a quality of life. This is more just something I would like to see, although you could see it as a quality of life. So every single actual tool, if I quickly just type in Netherite, every single tool in the game has a right click and left click action. Obviously, they all have the ability to break the blocks, obviously they are useful for. Hoes can till soil. Shovels can turn blocks into dirt to path. Axes can obviously wax and strip wood blocks. Now, the pickaxe doesn't actually have any action like the shovel and the axe and the hoe does. I would like to see the pickaxe have an action, and that action could be something like cracking certain blocks. Blocks that have a cracked version, you could click your pickaxe on it and it would basically act like you're smashing it with your pickaxe, which then could crack it, which I think would be useful because then you wouldn't have to smelt the block, and it'll make these blocks like way easier to get, which means people will build with them more, and it would be able to work on any cracked block. So as you can see, all of these right here, you'd be able to click on the uncracked version of that block and then it will crack it. Now this next change is a quality of life, oh that was a bit close, a quality of life change I would really like Minecraft to add, and it's basically enchantment descriptions. Now, as you can see, you've got obviously the enchantment here. I would really like to see a little description of what the enchantment does. Now, this wouldn't be useful for people who know Minecraft and play it a lot. This would mainly be useful for people like me who get confused for advanced enchantments, and also new players. I normally get confused between the actual Aqua Infinity and Respiration. I always get confused on what one does what. So just for example, let's use protection for example, or let's use fire protection. The fire protection for example could have a description saying something along the lines of decreases the chance of you taking fire damage when enchanted on armor. Something like that. Obviously it'd be worded a lot better, but I just think having descriptions to these would mean that it would be easier for people to understand, just mainly new players, but also people who get confused on what enchantments do, or even people who don't play the game that much and don't remember what all the enchantments do. And also maybe a symbol or something to tell you what the actual enchantment goes on. So for example, something that tells you luck of the sea is for a fishing rod, and also piercing is for the crossbow, because once again that's not really that obvious unless you go to Minecraft wiki or Google it. Dispensers is a block that is very useful within the game. Even in recent versions, they have still made this even more useful. In recent versions, it has been given the ability to shear sheep, so wool farms are automatic. It has also been given the ability to pick up water sources in front of it. Now, the changes I would like to see to the dispenser is new actions. Maybe certain ones like healing iron golems. So if you had iron in there and the iron golem was damaged, so let's quickly just damage this iron golem a little bit. As you can see, it cracks. If I was to now activate this dispenser, the iron would heal the golem instead of being dispensed out. So I know that would be very OP, because then you could maybe just have an iron golem that constantly heals. That is very OP, but I think that would be cool because then you would be able to set up some sort of farm using it. Now, a less OP way is I would really like it to be able to interact with cauldrons. Currently, you cannot put anything in a cauldron with a dispenser, nor can you actually take anything out of a cauldron with a dispenser. So if I was now just put an empty bucket in there, as you can see, it just burns it. And if you was to obviously have a lava bucket, then it will just dispense the lava bucket out of the dispenser. I would really like to see the dispensers get functions with cauldrons, even with water and also powdered snow, because then that would mean that it would be way more efficient to build powder snow farms and also lava farms, because then you could automate it in some sort of way. Now, these last two are not really quality of life. They're more things that would be good in the game. The first one I saw on, I believe it was Reddit, and it's the ability to add chains to item frames, making it into a hanging item frame. So if that was obviously a thing, I don't know how it'd be crafted, my guess is something like that, then you would be able to act the item frame like the hanging sign. So if I do something like this, and then you would be able to place the item frame like that, and it would hang there with chains supporting it. So then you can put an item in it is by using a barrier block and putting the item frame on it. And then if we was to put an item in it, it would then display the item like that, but it would be hanging from the block like the hanging signs do. I think that's such a cool idea. And this last one is once again something that would fit into the expression of yourself in Minecraft, and that is the ability to dye more items. Now, I don't mean dye as in jump off a cliff and lose all your health. I mean dye as in recolor. A few items that I can think of that would be good dyeable: book and quills, because then you could kind of color code them. So maybe your red book would be useful for a dark story, maybe a green book could be used for something more fantasy or something like that. And then it would mean the chiseled bookshelves would be even more useful, because then you can actually have them categorized in the bookshelf, which I think dyeing these would be so cool. They'd be dyed maybe like the leather armor, so you just throw dyes in and then it tints them depending on what colors you throw in. Something like this. I just think that would be so cool with a book and quill. Also item frames, and then that would give the outside of the item frame that sort of color. So in this case, if we was to throw this in, put a yellow, put 3 red or 3 pinks, and then 2 blues, the outside of the item frame would be that sort of color. Same if it, once again, if this was the book actual thing would be this color. The elytra would be another thing. The elytra would be this color if I was to put that in and use that combination. And also the bundle would be really good dyeable, because then you could color code your items. But anyway, that is where I'm going to end this video. Minecraft 1.19 and 1.20 are shaping up to be really good updates. 1.19 especially, I didn't expect Minecraft to add so much within 1.19.3. I really thought this was going to be a small update that they just fixed a load of bugs. But I think this is one of the best updates Minecraft have added, just for the amount of quality of life features they have done. Let me know in the comments what quality of life features you would like to see added to Minecraft, and maybe I'll make another video with some of them. We're going to end the video in this cauldron, but anyway, if you did enjoy, leave a like and subscribe, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!